What is up, guys? Eric here from EBM Productions, here to talk about UFC 299 and the picks, the fights, etc. I'll be as quick as possible though. I don't have time right now. I'm getting ready for work and preparing a lot of stuff way ahead. Alright, let's talk about the fights in order. And I want to mention a few of the picks I didn't put in my video because I didn't check the prelims. Didn't check the prelims that day. And didn't see that Mr. Robulus de Spain, the new boogeyman of the heavyweight division, was actually fighting on this card. I thought he was fighting a bit later. But yeah, I picked him because obviously if you checked his build-up before the UFC, before he got signed, he was dropping guys like crazy. He's huge, etc. Just want to take a sip. Now, I picked him to win. He did get kind of like a lucky knockout, which is a good thing in a way because we want the train to start rolling. Was kind of crazy in round one, backing up, then caught him with a check hook. After he kind of struggled a bit, but yeah, let's see how his career turns out. Okay, next up, Miguel Pereira versus, I can't read his name, but Michael, I'm going to say Michael, or Michal. I don't know how they say it in, I think it's Russian or Polish, that is. But yeah, Miguel Pereira won. His move to middleweight was a really small idea. He's a thick man. Thick. But yeah, he took the win and I would have picked him like straight. I didn't even know he was fighting. It's weird because after a few losses, his buzz went away. And that's why he kind of went under the radar. And it's like, holy shit, he was on the prelims. That's crazy. Next up is Ion Cutelaba versus Philip Lins. I picked Philip, because Felipe. Well, I'm going to say Lins. It's just hard to say some of these guys' names sometimes. Because Ion Cutelaba is on a downward slope since he lost to Magomed Ankalaev. And he's always been fighting a little bit recklessly. It fits his character, but he really needs to get taught a little bit more fight IQ. Anyway, we move on. Pedro Munoz versus Kyler Phillips. I picked Munoz and I took a L. Kyler won. The problem with Munoz is some days he fumbles the bag completely with fights, not doing what he can do, what he is capable of. And then other times he does it and he wins gorgeously. It looks great. And it's really frustrating. As a fan and as a fight fan, like a technical fight fan, it's really hard. But yeah, let's move on. Mateusz Gamrot versus Rafael Dos Anjos. I picked Gamrot. He won. That's a W finally. I have 3 so far. Next up, Caitlin Kuchagian versus Macy Barber. I was hoping that Kuchagian would win via striking and a little bit of a grappling, but Macy won. Macy won the fight, so I took L there. Sucks to say that, but yeah. Next up, Curtis Blades versus Jelton Almeida. I picked Almeida because of his grappling. I thought it was a tiny bit better than Blades. But then Blades kind of, if I remember right, reversed the position and then almost got taken down again, landed elbows, and he dropped him. Yeah, that just tells me that Almeida is good on the ground, etc. But he does not know, he's not comfortable striking and he's really not comfortable with pushing through the pain, etc. And also, he didn't figure to let go and get away from the strikes. Maybe let go, sink your weight, like drop your body weight, go for the hips, take him down. Yeah, most people who do jiu-jitsu, wrestling, etc. do know a few tricks of when an opponent is defending against you, you can give them a false sense of hope by letting go. Because they think, okay, shit, I'm out. And then you sink your weight even lower, grab one of the legs, grab his hips, lock your hands, and then just scoop and put him on his ass. Or you go for the same position, just on the other side, so the elbows is not there, and then you get him down. Or just clinch wall against the cage. People sometimes strike against the cage, like up against the cage. They strike and make mistakes and forget about the grappling because they're thinking, now we're starting to strike. Cool thing is, land, slip down. You drop your weight. The moment you can anticipate when he is thrown like this, you can drop between the hook. The hook is going to hit on the back of your neck or your back. It's just roll off, and you're going to fall down, and you can grab the hips and put him on the ass. Yeah, it's not as easy as I'm saying it is, but at that level, I don't know why he doesn't do that, but I think it's because of his lack of striking knowledge. And that's why he didn't think about this stuff. People who have been in wars like this and practiced this kind of stuff, drilling with these kind of positions, know how to do this. Next up, Peter Yan versus Song Yadong. I picked Peter Yan, and Yan won. Split decision. Song Yadong's very young. He's going to be a very good fighter. Like, he's 26. The dude's going to develop like crazy if he has these killers, and he learns from these fights where he's losing. Like with Corey Sandhagen, he lost there. Same with Yan. Both killers. The top guys in the division, in my opinion. Especially if you look back on how close Peter Yan was to beating Sean O Malley, the current champion in that division. He was so close. I rewatched the fight actually to see today, and I was like, man, Yan can be a threat if Merab isn't in the mix and he doesn't get thrown to Merab after another win or two. Then he can get a title shot and maybe get his belt back. The only problem is then Merab's just going to run in and steamroll him. Merab is a real big issue. But yeah, let's move on. Gilbert Burns versus Jack Magdalena. I picked Gilbert Burns. And guys, I'm pissed. A lot of guys on this card did stupid mistakes from here on out. Stupid mistakes. Because Gilbert was winning most of the rounds. He was winning the last round, if I'm not mistaken, until a certain point. And then he got dropped by that knee, and the stoppage was bad. The ref literally couldn't see that, like, he was out on the way down, and the last shots was a little bit too much. And now my problem is he did something that I don't like as a wrestler. He instantly blindly just shot in. That's why the knee landed so good. Now, yes, he was tired or hurt or whatever. I don't think he was hurt. I just think he was tired, because Gilbert, that's another thing. Gilbert's gas tank usually doesn't fizzle out this bad in a 3-rounder, but it did. It was really strange. He went toe-to-toe in a war versus Hamzat, but here he was in a it was similar, but it wasn't at that pace, and not with such venom and power, etc. They were really in the moment in that fight, just going out to kill each other. But here, it wasn't really that. It was about 10-15% pulled away there. Well, with the pressure. And then he gasses out and stuff. And it was so weird. And then also it was weird seeing him blindly just shoot it. And that's why he got caught. Yeah. So I don't know why. And the cardio thing is a bigger issue to me. And then the fight IQ. That just dwindled. Because he was going to win that fight. Most people agree with that. But yeah. Congrats to JDM. Let's see him versus Shavkat. It's going to be a good fight, actually. Because he looked very good in this fight. Like, in my opinion. He looked better than I thought he was going to be. That's how good of an improvement he made. Next up, Kevin Holland versus MVP. Again, Holland, he's the same as Munoz. They really dropped the ball on big fights. It's really like with Cowboy Cerrone back in the day, etc. It's almost like the big fight, get in their head, and then they fumble the bag. It really pissed me off seeing it, because he was doing stupid stuff. Plus, he did not take a note from Douglas Lima, etc.'s books, where the guys who beat him, he didn't. Now, I'm like, why are you not attacking his legs properly? I know he's bouncing in and out, he's fast. Any guy who's trained karate, I did. And my father as well, black belt. You guys can go look him up and all that stuff. My father was one of the guys who trained with Sensei Yuan Lagrange, the world champion in karate. Also Sensei Robenheimer as well. So my dad, I come from a lineage of that, and I grew up as that, and I also did karate and stuff. That's why my initial base is karate. That's also why my stance is the way it is if you ever spar with me. But anyhow, any guy that's light on their feet, you have to chop the tree. That means you have to get their legs destroyed, while being defensively responsible. Meaning, You can't stand there and just be like, all right, I'm just going to kick his legs. The guy's going to see it from a mile away. You have to throw a smoke screen. You know, he shouldn't be able to predict what you are going to do. And then, once you've found your rhythm, attacking the legs, they will focus on the legs a little bit more, etc. And another thing, body shots. It's open on the MVP. He likes to defend like this, and rolls away and stuff. Why does people not go for his chest, the abdomen over here, and then stomach, lower stomach even as well? You can kick it, you can freaking punch it, etc. A solid jab can get you there really quick. And if somebody thinks that you're changing level to jab, then you can bring behind the kick. And then throw it on the hands afterwards. It's really not too hard to get these combinations going, especially at the pro level. So it really was frustrating because that's a fight he could have won. He looked decent enough to win. But anyhow, ignore me moaning about that. It's just because this put an unnecessary L on my record for the night because I picked Holland. Let's see how far MVP can go. I'm curious to see how he matches up from here at welterweight. Although, exactly what I just said is a few things that the guys up in the division are doing a lot better. Like Leon Edwards, jeez. Anyhow, let's see what happens. Next up, Dustin Poirier versus Benoit. I said it in my prediction video, I think. Oh no, I didn't because it was a quick one. I said, I'm fine with Dustin winning because the dude's a G, etc. Plus, I'm kind of shocked. People think O'Malley's the reason why the card sold so much. Meanwhile, there's a lot of names here that a lot of people will know, but Dustin is the biggest one. We know after the Conor fights with Dustin blew up. He blew up completely. So I think it's Dustin who was the star power for this event, as well as Jack Magdalena, Peter Yan as well. Gamrot is making a lot of noise in the division as well. So yeah, these guys were the guys that really carried it. Sean was just like the icing on the cake, which added to the big cake. But anyway, Poirier caught Benoit after getting dominated. The fight went how I thought it would have gone, until he got clipped with that freaking good right hook. And I don't know, it looked like, this is not to say that Dustin doesn't have power. This is to explain that Dustin has power, but he doesn't have one-shot knockout power. Usually, you can look it up. He peppers people and then knocks them with a proper shot because he damages them. He chips away, ding, 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 until they break and fall apart, and then he lands. When the cracks are there, he just splits it wide open because he hits hard enough to drop people like that. But at the highest level, the guys have strong chins, etc., and defend these kinds of things better. And the conditioning, etc., means it's harder. But Benoit doesn't look like he has a strong chin. Doesn't have a really strong chin. That's what I'll say. I'll say it like this, really strong chin. And fights like this cracks your chin. And then slowly, like with a windscreen, it has a small crack and it just grows and breaks through the whole windshield. And that's what I think is going to happen with BST. The BSD, sorry. I think really, because he got hit with a lot of shots that rocked him already. And I was like, how is he going to survive anybody in the upper part of the division if this is going to happen? And also, let's say his chin got cracked. Like, let's say this is the first crack. As with a good example is Dominic Reyes after John Jones. His chin got cracked by losing to Jan, if I'm not mistaken. I think he fought somebody else before he fought Jan back then. Jeez, a little bit. It's been years, so yeah. But anyway, Jan knocked him out. Then he got knocked out a little bit ago by, what's that other guy's name? He got beat, Ryan Spann. That's how bad it went. It was the Jan fight where he was doing decent and then got beat, up to where it cracked so bad with his losses where Ryan Spann dropped him horribly with a jab. And that's an example of somebody's chin just cracking slowly over time. Usman's is the same. Usman really got cracked in, what was the fight? Well, he showed signs of this already in the Woodley fight. When Woodley rocked him at one point, he started trading with him back then. Every fight where he got clipped, with Gilbert Burns as well, Usman's chin slowly opened up more. And then Leon was the guy who capitalized on it to the highest degree. And it even showed in the third fight, the rematch. His chin showed a lot of times where he got stung. That's shit that doesn't happen usually. And even in the Masvidal fight, the first one, not the second one, same thing. So I think we should just keep an eye on that. I hope I'm wrong, because I like Benoit Saint-Denis. He got knocked out bad. I hope he takes a long rest. Like, really, your chin, it sounds weird if I say that, but it's actually the brain. Because the brain can get easily switched off if it's swollen. So what's going to happen now is he needs to rest. Let his chin rest up. Because knock on the chin and the brain's going to bounce around again. The swelling means it's just going to be like off switch. Let's move on to, in my opinion, the best fight of the night for me. Really, it was Sean O Malley versus Chito Vera. Yeah, Sean O Malley dominated. This was fun to watch. I was really sitting there just waiting for something to happen from Chito's side, because we know him like that. People can dominate him and then suddenly just cracks them. And he did land a few proper shots. O'Malley even said it after the fight. He said a few of his shots really hit me fucking hard. And we know Vera is the highest hitting 135 in my opinion, by a wide margin. Now, the thing is, he couldn't land because of his footwork and also the smoke screen. But that is really O'Malley's biggest weapon. Feinting, smoke screen, and then using his reach, his length, and his body. And what happened is, Chito was just walking and being a punching bag, because he knew, I'm going to throw and I'm going to get caught. Kind of how Ngannou lost the other night, which breaks my heart. He knew that's going to happen. So he couldn't. So he's just like, okay, just keep my guard up and defend. Because if I throw, bam, I'm going to get hit. If I don't throw, bam, I'm going to get hit. How am I going to stop this? Oh, I'm going to try and block him off. But he couldn't really do that. He did trap O'Malley a few times, but not perfectly. And that's why O'Malley, bop, bop, and then he went around, bop, bop, moved around, or dance, and then moved out one direction that he saw an opening with. And even sometimes knocked and just blocked Chito's vision. This really meant it was a landslide win for O'Malley. And geez, that one knee, that big bomb of a knee he landed, that was crazy, man. That was crazy, like a different level of crazy. But yeah, I counted now. I got 6 predictions right out of 12. That's sad. And let me check. Out of my initial 9, it was 9. Yeah, I remember. I picked Munoz, Gamrot, then Kuchagian, that's 3, Almeida, Jan, Gilbert, Holland, BST, and then O'Malley. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 9. Terrible. Holy shit. And again, because of fight IQ issues with a few of these guys. So in the long run, and then obviously I picked Ngannou to win versus AJ. But I remember I told people, I'm like, if he fights AJ the same way he fought Tyson Fury, I don't think he's going to win. And then flop. So I'm taking that one, full accountability there. Not a good weekend for me, but a good weekend of fights. So yeah, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to share more car audio videos as well this week. And then more fight news and fight videos. Just more stuff, short videos about, let's say, Sean O Malley versus Vera, etc. So cheers, guys.